Our gracious Lord, we come before Thee this morning with thanksgiving in our hearts for all that You give us. We are grateful for our blessings. We are grateful for this beautiful place that we live in. And we are thankful for the position we are in to serve our people. May we always be mindful of that, Heavenly Father, that we are servants of our people. We pray that Thy Spirit may be here today, that we may listen to their voices and that we may make the best decisions to benefit the entire Lahui. We say this humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Mahalo. On the agenda today is, roll call, please.
Here. Aloha mai kako.
Here.
Here. Present.
Here. I believe they all have these things outside. But, all right. On the agenda today is executive session. However, I understand that there are a lot of people that have come to testify. So if it's okay with the trustees, I'm going to allow that testimony. So the first person up, it's 10 minutes after 10, and kalamai for the lateness, but officially we're calling this meeting to order at 10 after 10. The first beneficiary to speak this morning is Bumpy Kanahele. Good morning, Bumpy.
Morning.
Good morning.
Kua maulua ki kia ni nga pukuna o mga kō. Wala mai o koe nā mea I ka maha ia. Kalawale mai o koe ko mga kō hewa. Mga kō hau mea. Ai ko mga kō waha he. Ko mga kō ho e hiki ino ana. Tau. Mai ko o koe mena ni ko mga kō haa. Pai. Ola ia mga kō. Nā mea hoa e kūpona. Wala ia mga kō. Hau pona mo ke ia hana. Hui ia mga kō. Nā. O kou manao ka mea pōre e. A laila no e holo mua mga kō I ka I kaika I ka haa. Manao hui ka ole. Ka hu maa kōpa ma ki ia ana nui. Ko kahi. Kama mo luanga. Kind of nervous right here because I piss off a lot of things. I feel people piss off about a lot of things. Always been fighting with each other. Years I tried working with this office. I'm fine. Kuno out there, so I keep jumping away. I don't know something not right. No, this was given to me from pretty strong leader in Indian nations. The truth. Speak the truth. So I Puna. Oh, wait. Stand for justice. Puna stood for justice. Yoko Puna stood for justice. How the fuck you not get them together? I don't know. This. You guys cannot help us in the community. Every time the administration change or something happen in here, problem in the community more worse. In Schiffer, I have get, I have not no get anymore. Everybody get pissed off. You was to tear on everything and hang the clothes out, dry out there. We look so stupid. It is mismanagement of all cash and assets. This blame is gone to the workers. I want to help you folks. Like play with America so much. Like be under the law, you like be protected by that. Peaceful call. Bueno. A good friend from the FBI. Call on you to investigate what the hell going on here. We no can, otherwise we go keep fighting each other. We get family fighting each other because now some get, some no more. But really seriously ask you to call the FBI in. Call for the FBI. Very important because now, if you know more the crime, you never do anything under the table. You don't need worry. Right? No need. So now, justice will catch up with everybody. It was sad. I don't like nothing from you guys. I don't want it. I don't owe you guys nothing. I always did something for you folks. Always. Please make that call. You gotta make that. After you guys pull over, you call the FBI. And please do that. Hope you guys understand that gotta happen because you guys cannot solve them amongst yourself. That's pretty, like I said, fucked up.
Thank you so much, McAfee, for coming to this meeting.
You guys gotta get them together.
Thank you. Kili email kay Kai. Okay, Cal. I'm sorry. Thinking of a boat. Sorry. I didn't take my pills this morning.
Aloha, good morning, trustees.
Aloha, Mai.
Thank you for the opportunity to testify. My comments will be direct and brief. We all know pretty much why we're here today. Last time I was here, I delivered a memo with certain allegations that were in place and whatnot. I never really got an answer, well, considering the last outcome of the meeting. My line of discussion is basically about the procurement contract relating to the CEO. As far as public knowledge was concerned, and I'll just briefly go over it, a contract extension was offered. It was rejected. Something happened in executive sessions, something about the terms of maybe a counter offer, which too was also rejected. What's been meant to believe in the public was that the 3-year contract extension was somehow, again, promulgated. I would like to ask the members of this board, I'd have to excuse you, Mr. Aquino, because obviously you weren't on the board at that time. Who voted on that contract? Because to my understanding is the state law says that the board of directors or the board of trustees shall have a final say on this matter. I would like to just ask, if you, with a show of hands, who did it. If we can get that, then I think we can see the terms of how the nature in which all this came to rise. Because right now, instead, we're just getting a he said, she said thing, and that's also ripping this community apart. We're being forced to pick favorites here. So I would like to center my comments to that on the performance and level of the law, if you wouldn't mind that. Could you have that?
You're out of order asking questions of the trustees. You're here to present testimony, so you can do that. Trustees aren't obligated to get into a question and answer with you.
My comments were directed to the chair, sir.
I'm advising the chair that she doesn't have to get into a question and answer with you. It's not required. It's not allowed under OIP. You can check it yourself, because I know you do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can present testimony, but you're not here to interrogate the trustees, okay?
I just assumed with the mantra of truth and transparency, which is echoed at this board so many times, that a simple "I do" would be suffice. I didn't know that it had now legal complications, especially considering your involvement, counsel, with
Well,
this.
now you do.
But now I will reframe my question, obviously, since I'm being shut down and censored. Madam Chair, the ad hoc committee on the CFO, is that going to be reinstated by any chance for the CFO position? That last meeting we had that was removed from the agenda, the ad hoc committee on the CFO selection process, is that going to somehow be reinstated? The search for a CFO, your ad hoc committee on the CFO position?
I don't believe the ad hoc committee is still active on
Oh.
that matter.
All right. Thank you for your time.
All right, the next speaker is Nathan Paikai, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Aloha.
I'm in awe. For the Word of God says that we are to walk humbly, do justly, walk humbly. And for all of us to be here, it is an amazing where that we cannot love one another. We may differ, we may not understand each other's manao, but to come together to hear the heart of Iyo in each of you. I would ask for all of you to not only love and respect, but to humble one another. It is a new administration. The people voted. The people have been hurt by many different things that have been going on. I just returned from the Capitol, and I was in awe for the people chose. One of the greatest things for me was watching somebody in a helicopter get the hell out of Washington, D.C. Just to prove to this point, this is a new time, a new era, a new people. We need to stop focusing on what happened yesterday. And we need to look forward as to who. And I'm not here to lecture on you. I love you all. And I voted for you. And yet, we are here trying to come against one another. One scripture that I have this morning, and I'm shaking because my people hurting. My people is all people. They all live here in the greatest state in the union that I believe. Yet my state continues to battle against each other. One scripture. It is out of the book of Micah. When they say minor prophets has nothing to do with which prophet was bigger than the other. Hi, Chief. It was about who heard God, who walk humbly, and walk justly, and humble each other. so that we could move forward. It says this in Micah chapter 6, verse 8. He had showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. I pray that for all of you as we move forward, that we would love and cherish and honor one another according to the word of the Lord. Holy, holy, mine bow my name, auke aloha, aloha. May the word of the Lord bless you all this morning. And may you come to a decision that we would do what is right, do what is just, and walk humbly before our God. God bless you.
Next beneficiary to testify is Robbie Cabral.
What is the name, Chair?
Robbie Cabral.
Good morning, Madam Chair and
Morning.
members of the trustees. Thank you for having us here today. It is with really heavy heart that we're here today again. Constant pilikia going on in our community. We've had many different relationships, a lot of us going back. Colette, Lay, Rowena. You guys are our friends. Hulu's my family. Bob's my family, and yet we find ourselves on different sides of the issues. Exactly what Bumpy had said. I just wanted to say, number one, that I was here to support the chair. I think she's trying to move the board in a good direction. I'm not sure if I can completely agree with sometimes Rowena's style, but I think her intention and her heart is pure, and I'm going to say that. It may not be the most popular thing to say today because our community is split, but I am just asking for you folks to make the right decisions to holomua us. I go back to 1978-79 when this office was put together. I was a part of the group that formed OHA. Steve Kuna, my son's father, was the guy that wrote the legislation mandating this office in the 78 Con when Auntie Frenchie was the chair. She was the delegate from the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. John Boy's father, he was the one that got this across the aisle where everybody voted on this. I have some huge history here with OHA. I ran the voter registration drive in 1979-80 that registered 55,000 Hawaiians in 9 months with no money. We threw fundraisers to pay for this. Today, the office is here. Our corpus is rich. We have much to be proud of in terms of how we've acquired getting to where we're at. I'm just asking that the board consider where we've been, where we're at, and where we go. I know if Auntie Frenchie was here, she would agree. She would agree that we need to holomua. And I thank you for your time, and aloha to all of you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Huagora Correa. Aloha. Okay, well, I know we have 5 minutes, and there's many people. Well, I'm originally from here. Within our family, I have my brother-in-law, which is Henry Noah, that you all know. I have my younger brother, which is Kelly Igora, part of the original Kalahui, Hawaii. And then I also have my husband's cousin, which is also Keanu Sai. So in one family, we have a diverse way, a diverse style. Everyone has their own opinions.
But with respect, we move forward out of love. That's the Hawaiian style. I live now in New York City. I represent many people that are in the continent now, not in the beautiful state of Hawaii where you all live, but in the continent surviving. Why is that? Because many has been lost within our Hawaiian culture because we became a state of Hawaii under the United States. But we have, as Hawaiians, many rights that needs to be taken back and make it right. So yesterday, my younger son asked me to go to a service. Now, all Hawaiians are Christians, and all Hawaiians believe in Keaukua first. We put God first in everything that we do. It has to be pono. But we have a fiduciary responsibilities to ourselves, to our God, to our family, and then to our community. So at this service, it was very interesting what the outcome was. And it was about, excuse me, I have to clear my throat. It was about, and the simpleness of, you know, when people walk in the room, the first thing that they actually see sometimes, oh no, here comes trouble. Oh no, there's that person coming in. Oh my goodness. Like when certain people sit here, oh my God, what is that person going to say? Well, trouble is sometimes good if it fights trouble that comes up. That means bad. Everyone wants their say, like either heard or not only heard, but actually dealt with. We all kind of like want that, yeah, because we're individuals. But we also have different bloodlines, whether it be our Chinese blood, my Haole blood, my Japanese blood, my Portuguese blood. We all have different bloods, but we all have one thing in common. We must move forward for us as Hawaiians to benefit as a fiduciary responsibility to get more for each and every single person that has Hawaiian blood in the Hawaiian culture. Now, I used to do a lot of nonprofit organizations. That's how Uncle Bob naturally knows me, not only from my mother-in-law, Ma Correa, who has passed, but in our community when we actually deal with thousands of people. We have different personalities. We have to do what is beneficial for the majority. Like how they said earlier, the lahui. You have to do that, no matter what it is. So I come here in actually response to what I've been reading on emails. Almost like trying to get Rowena out of the seat that she just got elected in by, evidently, the majority of you fellers. The thing is, everyone deserves a chance to make a change for the benefit of us as Hawaiians. And evidently, we all have different passions, but we have to have passion with respect, not only for ourselves, but for the next person that sits next to us. I see folks all kissing, whether it be the sharing, the hugging, and then everyone has different concerns, but they also have accountability. You folks have the accountability and the responsibility for each and every Hawaiian that is out there. Not for yourselves. You're not sitting here for yourself. You're sitting here for someone else that's bigger than you. And whether in the back of your mind, while you're sitting here, whether you're listening to me or not, and whether you actually have already made a judgment call to oust her or not oust her, you should hear the people. You should actually go to another place in your heart and say, you know what, everyone deserves a chance. I too, like many of us, have made mistakes in our life. Our parents forgive us. Our loved ones forgive us. We have to get the biggest forgivenesses from ourselves and then move on. So if you give an opportunity for Rowena to move on, I do believe that you will then see the fiduciary responsibility that we actually have here, not for yourselves, but everyone that is sitting in this room, or those who are working, sometimes 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, to make a living, as well as myself in New York to make a living. I want to come back home, and I want Hawaii to flourish. And there's so much we actually can flourish on instead of wasting time, you guys can holo imua and move forward to get things done and accomplished, even with the different personalities that are sitting on this board. I'm sorry for the mistakes I have done. Move forward. Stop the selfishness, the selfish ways. And I know that many of you came initially to apply for the trustee for the benefits of all Hawaiians. That was the initial reason why you folks ran for office. You have to keep that in mind every single time you come to a meeting, you come through your doors, you open up your car, you come outside of your garage, park it, come in your office. Every single time you represent not only OHA here in the office, but also outside, where you bring the outside in. Like I say, it always starts from your heart. Where's your heart at? Pride, making little connections on the side. I've been in many, many board meetings. You have to look at it and set aside who is the right person for the job to get it done, to move us forward. So I'm in support of you, Rowena. I don't know you very well, but what I actually have read and what I have seen, everyone deserves a chance. And if those who do not get chances, we all know what goes around will come around. That's your choice of how you folks select, elect, and then do. I don't know everyone here. I would love to actually know you all, but I don't. A lot of them say hello to me because why? I look like my sisters maybe. But no, I'm not the singer, I'm the cook, I'm the kitchen, I do everything else, but I don't do that. We all have different responsibilities, but as a family, we can make it as one. This is a family of OHA. You have to make it as one, and you have to make it pono. You have to do what is right. Thank you very much.
Mahalo. Mahalo.
Thank you, Pua. Keolani Miller. Miller? Oh. It looks like Miller, but...
Sorry, bad handwriting.
Aloha mai.
Aloha, aloha trustees, aloha chair, aloha kamana'o. I just have two things. One is an easy one. When we come to your meetings, a lot of times we can't hear you guys speak. So I just want to ask that everybody speak into your microphones because, you know, we're here to hear you guys. We want to hear what you guys have to say. The other thing I have to say, and this is for reasons of transparency and what's been happening lately, the petition that Kau'i brought forward was brought forward and reported in the newspaper as her being a beneficiary, and she is a beneficiary, but she is also friends with Kamana'o, Kamana'o's brother Mark, his other brother Michael, and because I'm, you know, on Facebook, I saw that she was in contact with Mark Crabb in the discussion of bringing forward the petition. And I don't think it's pono for someone to not disclose relationships like that when they're bringing forward a petition to oust the chair. I'm sorry to have to say this, but I think everyone should be aware of that. And so that's all I really wanted to bring forward. Mahalo.
Thank you very much.
Mahalo.
Mr. Wailani?
Kakayaka kako ohana. Aloha mai.
Pakautalani wahilani na puea mai au. Paumahapa. Fall on you. Oio, e makualani. Oio, kavaiola. Oio, e kumuola. Ka mea hanai na mea pau. E kuhaku. Ka mauna kie kie. Oio. Come before you this morning, mahalo, chair, trustees, kamana'o. Very kamaha because a house divided cannot stand. But I don't suggest, because you walk into this building, get invisible barriers, tension can cut with a knife. Look up to you folks. We look up to this office. Now I suggest ho'oponopono with everybody, but especially with the trustees and kamana'o and all the staff. Since we call ourselves the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, at the pico of being a Kanaka, ho'oponopono is very vital. And if you folks can't ho'oponopono, then you get something for hide. That's just my iki. So I suggest that when ho'oponoponos start, the trustees, the chair of the trustees, and kamana'o, and then all the staff, because there's so much division in here. And then our enemies looking at us like, yeah, keep doing that. Keep being separated, Hawaiians. They like us do that. Remember, we get great enemies out there. You let Uncle bump you and speak, we get divided. We divide it because great error. But we look up to you folks. We look up to this office. We look up to DHHL. Because I'm a homesteader. We look up to KS because why? They're supposed to be ours. We shouldn't be fearless. I mean, we shouldn't be fearful. We should be fearless. We own this table. This is ours. Mai po'ina ku'umoi wahini lili wokalani. Mai po'ina na kupuna. They're set precedents for us. But get so much division inside this kauhale. Right, it's unbelievable. And you know who suffer? Who suffer? The Lahui suffer. The Lahui suffer. And then what? Then our enemies looking at us. Like, we cannot come together. We cannot hold more. So, I stand for that. Ho'oponopono. And if you cannot ho'oponopono, then you get something for hide. If you cannot ho'oponopono, then you should remove yourself. Because that's the foundation of our kupuna, our na kupuna. That's a big foundation on Kanaka or Iwi. I get my cousin, she's from Ka'ava. She couldn't be here today, so she asked me to read this, and her name is Kawila Sheldon. Single mom. To extend her aloha to everybody here. Aloha, my name is Kawila Sheldon from Ka'ava, Oahu. I'm writing you in regards to putting the forensic audit as the highest priority without distractions. I'm also concerned with the unfrugal and generous spending. According to your website, your vision and mission statement says, Ho'oulu lahui, not Ho'oulu lahui ka'ala. It continues to mention to Malama Hawaii's people and environmental resources and OHA's assets. I don't see this in full execution. Maybe in outreach, but not at the center or from the foundation. Your kauhale is faulty, or it seems that way. I feel that choosing sides is a distraction and takes away from high priorities. I can tell you now that with this new president, it is extremely important that, one, instead of giving money to governance, monies could have gone to helping Kanaka Hawaii with research in land titles, law fees, etc. I ask that all of you do a paradigm shift back to Hawaiian Kingdom. Put every effort
in this restoration because Kuleana lands, allodial titles, genealogy is what we have against the U.S. And if you love being an American, then I ask that you keep other Americans honest. Number two, there are issues that OHA could really show effectiveness, such as the Mark Zuckerberg suing issue, Kona timeshares, U.S. militarization, houselessness, etc. The eternal fighting is preventing these discussions and actions. 3, it saddens me that while OHA spends money on friends' extravagant outings, me and my little girl scraping pennies off the ground just to eat lunch or dinner. I will not be able to testify because I am working today. I humbly ask that the trustees support a forensic audit and read aloud the vision and mission statement for all of you are accountable. Like I said, we look up to this. We look up to OHA. But because of the stigma that OHA has, we had a meeting last week. I had two, my right hand and my left hand never come. They never come to this meeting. They never step foot in this building. Because of the heaven that's been going on. The house divided cannot stand. No matter what, we still connected. How? Chukoko. We connected. So please, do what is right. Please do that ho'oponopono. And please do that audit. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thank you. Helani Sonoda Pali.
I have copies for all the trustees.
Aloha.
And for you. Oh, I won't keep one. Oh, sorry, I need one for free. Okay. Okay, aloha.
Aloha.
I seem to be a fixture here for the last 2 weeks. My name is Helani Sonora Pale. I'm from Kuli'o'o. I'm a beneficiary of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And I brought with me the form letter that was sent to all of you. All of you should have gotten it in your email by 200, as of this morning, 207 beneficiaries. These are some of the issues that we are really concerned about, and we wanted to bring it forward to you. In respect to all of those that signed this letter, I wanted to read it out loud to you because giving leo to the voices of our people is important. So I wanted to read it out loud and then share some of my concerns. So, dear board members, I am submitting and reading for the record the request of 207 concerned Kanaka Maoli and supporters who signed and sent you this letter. They ask the following: stop funding Kana'iolo Walu, Na'iaupuni offshoot organizations, as well as any other state-initiated Hawaiian so-called nation-building organizations, and support the repeal of Act 195. Kana'iolo Walu was given $4 million of OHA Trust monies to enroll 200,000 Kanaka Maoli, but were only able to enroll 19 to 40,000 Kanaka Maoli on their rolls. In 2013, over 80,000 names from 3 different OHA lists, Kauinoa, Operation Ohana, and OHA's Hawaiian Registry were transferred over to Kana'iolo Walu without free, prior, and informed consent of thousands of Kanaka Maoli. And we want an accounting of that $4 million. Where did it go? Number 2, repeal your support for the Department of Interior rule that facilitates the reestablishing of a government-to-government relationship with the Native Hawaiian community. During the 2014 advance notice of proposed rulemaking, over 90% of oral testimonies were in opposition to proposing a DOI rule, but you guys still supported it. I don't know what was up with that. Furthermore, during the 2015 notice of proposed rulemaking, there was no effort on the part of DOI nor OHA to provide education on the proposed rule and its implications for the Kanaka Maoli and the general public, despite requiring comments to be specific to the proposed rule. The rule provides for no lands, except for the uninhabitable island of Kaho'olawe. There is not one school, not one hospital. There is no housing on Kaho'olawe. All federal lands, nearly 900,000 acres, are taken off the table. And these lands are Hawaiian Kingdom Crown and Government lands. Number 3, we humbly ask you implement a forensic audit of OHA's expenses, especially in regards to Hawaiian nation building campaigns that include Kana'iolowalu Native Hawaiian Road Commission and Na'Iapuni grants. So far, OHA has wasted $33 million. Now let me repeat that again. $33 million in failed federal recognition campaigns. Because there's no way it's going through under Trump. So it's not going anywhere right now. While Kanaka Maoli remain overrepresented in Hawaii's houseless and incarcerated populations and remain at the bottom of health and education statistics in Hawaii. Take a strong, this is the 4th one, please take a strong position in opposition to the building of TMT atop Mauna Kea. With regard to Mauna Kea and the matter of TMT, as a state agency, OHA has no jurisdiction because the Mauna is part of the Crown and Government land of the Hawaiian Kingdom, which was never legally ceded to the occupying government. However, as a Hawaiian entity, your kuleana is to the protection of the summit's natural and cultural significance. Both are of immeasurable importance to all future generations of Kanaka Maoli people and the public. Therefore, OHA's interests should be focused on the protection of Mauna Kea and every other sacred site in the Hawaiian archipelago. Your agency should oppose any further development, which is just a word for desecration, of the Mauna. Furthermore, any discussions, this is very key, or negotiations that OHA enters into with DLNR, the state, TMT, or TIO regarding Mauna Kea should be made public and allow for beneficiary input. So, this is the letter I wanted to give Leo to that was sent, and out of respect to the 207 that signed on to it. And the 207 include Uncle Earl DeLeon, Uncle Hank Fergustrom, Kalamani Hill, Kauka'ohu Wahilani, Ku Kahakalau. So there's a lot of us, and then you guys have all the names as well. I wanted to give Leo to that. And I just also wanted to give my personal, this is not representing anybody, but my own personal perspective. We did come here last week. I came with Hui Kulike Kako, with Brother Kauka'ohu and Sister Ka'iolani and all our lahui. We came and we met with Trustee Kana, and we met with Kamana'o. We heard both sides of the story, and I'm going to just say this, that it was kaumaha. It was, we cried in the meeting. That's how bad it was. And I'm going to say this also. Both sides, there's, one side is not innocent and the other side is wrong. Both sides. So we need to really clean house, and I agree with what Bumpy Kanahele said and what Brother Kauka'ohu said. Time to holomua, let's just move forward and stop the bickering and start acting, your age. And holomua. Okay. Aloha, lahui. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Mr. Corner, Demont, R.D. Connor.
Back again. Aloha, everybody.
Aloha.
Demont Connor, co-manager of Ho'omanapono LLC. First of all, I'd like to echo what one of our greatest leaders that we have that never did show propensity to childishness is Bumpy Kanahele. And so I give credit to brother when he said for the FBI thing. So I think that a forensic audit is very necessary. You hear that repeated a lot. Second of all, I'll reiterate what I said about not trying to get Rowena out or not trying to get Kamanao out. And I gotta tell you this, that you gotta be careful, you know. When you head hunting somebody, sometimes the hunter become the hunted too. So if you don't like get hunted yourself, try not to go do that to other people. So anyway, I'd like to be able to share this. This is the most thing that I wanted to come share today. Just to bring into remembrance. And for me too, I get on hard time with this. We're talking about wisdom from our kupuna, yeah? So everybody know Auntie Pilahi Pikahi, Paki, and she's known as the Secrets of Hawaii, the keeper of the Secrets of Hawaii, yeah? So her students, you know, in 1970, they, at the governor's conference, I'm going to read it to you. I'm reading them from my cell phone because I get bad memory. Except for the guys that did wrong. Anyway. So, it comes from the word aloha. Everybody already know this, yeah? Akahai, right? Lokahi, olu, ha'aha, and ahonui, yeah? We already know that. But what was most important to me when I was reading this, and this was put together by one of our great leaders today, Ramsey Tom. I go to his site, cockroach stuff. So I like to give credit to Ramsey Tom. Anyway, he will quote something by our Queen, Lili'uokalani. Everybody know that for us, especially the nationalists, that's our heart and soul right there. We still serve her. And so in 1917, she said, to gain the kingdom of heaven is to hear what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable. That is aloha. All things in this world are two. In heaven there is but one. That was from our Queen, Lili'uokalani. So I gotta tell you, guys gotta remember, man, we serve one, like Brother Koko who said. You know what I mean? We all believe in one, Keakua. And for me, I get a hard time too, bro. I come from a bad background, and I come from Kalihi Valley housing. If you like action, we take them to the streets. We don't talk words, but that kind of days is over, and we can continue to fight each other. We have to come together, whether we like it or not. There's a lot of people out there want to see us to fail, and we will continue to fail if our elected leaders continue to fight each other and rip this establishment apart. So please stop the bickering and stop the fighting, and just unite. You know, if we're not united here, we're not united in the streets. You know, this nation building campaign you guys ran on, $33 million. You crazy? $33 million, and you got nothing to show for it. Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know what I mean? So, laugh already, okay? So, take $33 million and let's go do something for our lahui that everybody can come together with, all right? See the rest of my time to the rest of the people. Aloha.
Aloha. Next speaker is Mililani Trask.
Chair, I want to say something.
Can we just wait till we...
Come on. People looking at me like I'm campaigning to be chair. That's fake news what you guys are reading on Facebook. Don't look at me and tell me the hunted is going after the hunter. Forget it. Fake news, you know what that is? Hi, Mililani. Sorry.
Good morning, Lei.
Morning.
Good morning, trustees.
Aloha mai.
Aloha. I'm here to support the current chair, Rowena Akana, to join her in her call for an immediate forensic audit of our people's trust assets, including land, and to oppose the new contract that has been drafted by your board chair without your involvement for the renewal of a CEO sitting to my left. This contract is the third contract that the OHA trustees have considered in direct violation of Chapter 10, Sections 1010 and 1011, and this is the law that was passed years ago to govern your operations. Now, Section 1010 states that the Board of OHA is to appoint an administrator by a majority vote. There was no majority vote on this contract. It is not a contract for an administrator. It's the third contract y'all have considered for an American corporate CEO. Direct violation of the statute that governs your authority. In addition, Section 1011 states that you may set the compensation for your administrator, but it must be in conformity with state statute. Your administrator is getting $150,000 a year for salary, $150,000 a year for discretionary fund for which no itemized budget is ever presented for public review or for the legislature, and the WAM is calling for it now. Unlimited local, national, and international travel and a benefit package of $1 million. You're flagrantly in violation of Section 1010 and 1011. There was no contract voted on by the majority of this board. This is not a contract renewal, Council. The first contract had provisions for things like insubordination. I see that they somehow have been removed. And instead, we're supposed to ho'oponopono millions of dollars that are not accounted for. I want to point out some things for the record. Your CEO has not been able to provide a detailed, complete, or itemized accounting for this office since he was hired. Since he came on, your budget has gone from $26 million to $53 million. Only $9 million is spent for our people. $44 million spent for your overhead, administrative travel, and trips to New Zealand and the Cook Islands. Flagrant violation. Under your CEO, OHA has repeatedly failed to follow state OIP laws, procurement, and ethics laws. As a result of that, and thank you, Trustee Aquina, we had the Judicial Watch case, which forced the release of 2,000 of your checks. When I assessed them, there are dozens of checks for $25,000 given out to all kinds of people without following the state RFP and procurement laws. Flagrant violation of the law. Your CEO last year gave a gift of $500,000 to the IUCN Global Environmental Conference so that he and a few others could become the master of ceremonies for a Hollywood-like opening event. This did not benefit our people, and getting the board, excuse me, I'd like to finish. I would like to finish.
Excuse me.
Giving gifts of $500,000 and getting the board to later rubber stamp it doesn't make it legal, but it sure implicates you in the existing breaches of trust. Your CEO has used thousands of dollars for international trips, 20 staffers going to New Zealand for the Hokulea welcome party with a 3-piece band and a $5,000 gift, followed by another trip to the Cook Islands to celebrate independence. Flagrant violation of our people's trust and your own fiduciary obligations. An earlier beneficiary pointed out that there was no accounting for Kana'i Olovalu. If you read Act 195, it says that Kana'i Olovalu is administratively attached to this office. State RFP laws should have been followed, but were completely ignored. And when the Judicial Watch case order came down from the judge, you all only had $2.9 million in invoices. You allocate $4.3 to $4.7 million for Kana'i Olovalu, and you only have $2.9 million in invoices. Where did the rest of our people's trust fund go? I do not accept the CEO's explanation that it was somehow absorbed by the staff.
Can we wrap it?
Building.
Can we wrap
You
it
had
up?
an obligation to follow HRS 103D for the refurbishing. Instead, a contract for $6 to $7 million was given out in violation of 103D to someone who was your employee, to a company that employed her husband. I support Bumpy Kanahele's call that we reach out to the FBI. They're in our state. They're here to investigate white-collar crime involving the government. If you do not follow up with the FBI, I certainly will.
Thank you.
Mahalo. Mahalo. Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, do we have Ms. Trask's testimony in writing? And if not, could you request it?
It's probably in the minutes. Yeah, it'll be in the, he's taken the minutes. Yeah, it's, the minutes is recorded, verbatim. So the next speaker is Bruce Kiolani. Good morning.
Aloha.
The families that came. I'm first time to do this.
Welcome.
My teacher, Ho'oponopono, Ona Simeon. My Lua teacher is my uncle, David Muruhita. Both well known. Back to our country. Good. I'm very from them I learned about peace, love, and also too that we always family. All that another. Also have to be truthful. As we walk, both my teachers walk. Papa Wayne. I learned to do that. Our culture. Practices that we have. Traditional practice. Our values. So today, I come from a now, brother. That is to respect each one of you. Because that's how I was brought up. Now I know about you there's a big behavior. So please go through the islands. Going through the islands. I'm going to get started with 2 islands already. Teaching Ho'oponopono. But also the other Ho'oponopono teachers. Riva, Betty. Because there's still a need to be at peace with yourself. And then in our Lua practice, discipline. Of healing. Lua practitioners were people of grace, protectors of our land, of our ali. Very spiritual. have people on each hand. People like any what's a coupon or how but we 99 walk across the ocean go visit bring a holly pili be traditional to bring all the healers from each side. Us, our state. Us, aloha. 3 years about we walked together in the legislature. I tell the legislature aloha. But they answer me. They never answered me for 3 years. 4 years. Big good. Hawaiian. So I just did a mihi with women for Heart of Women across the nation. Hale and Manoa. A mihi. The province here. The other province. With a mihi saying holy hands for that great for ancestor. That's so strong. Push us together. Now we're shoulder to shoulder like this. Grounding our feet to the aina. Grounding our hearts to touch each other. Sharing our heart, sharing what we were taught by the heart. Legacy came out, our troubles came out, our burdens came out, the troubles, emotions, it had come to us. That's one situation. Now we're traveling through each island, both on the corner. Our practices, traditional practices, values for the children, adults. That we can be part of this. All the people we work with, they can come to this. They're make a difference. We don't have to appeal to teach our legacy, our leadership. So I offer from our hale and manoa for you to come to our hale. Ho'oponopono. Also, I don't have time. I ask you if you want to, you can do it there or now. You can stand together and meet you. Hello. Blessings to each one of you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. All right, we have a couple of more speakers. I just want to remind the speakers that we have an agenda, so try to be mindful of the time, and speak into the mic so we can record your message that you want to leave with the board. So the next speaker is Dr. Jamie Mahilani Miller.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Jamie Mahialani Miller. I'm from Punalu'u, been raised there all my life. Fortunate enough to raise my children there, and now they're raising their children there. So I have 3 mo'opuna. My parents reside in Kailua Kona. We come from Ho'okena and Hilo and Wai'ehu. And my grandmother, I have 1 living grandmother who is being cared for in Kane'ohe. So I'm here representing my ohana and 5 living generations and the generations to come. I come from a hardworking, humble family, makua, who taught us how to behave and treat one another with kindness and to be accountable when we don't. I'm the eldest grandchild and child in my family, so I have kuleana to my makua, kupuna, and ho'ahanau, and generations to come. I'm cognizant of the power and perception of influence, so being and having exceptional role models are important to me and our ohana. I'm a licensed social worker and I have a doctorate degree in educational leadership. I work in both fields as they complement one another, and I've dedicated my professional life to our lahui and have chosen to work for organizations that are committed to uplifting the betterment of Native Hawaiians. I would never have thought to aspire for an advanced degree. I'm the first in my family. If there were not those that looked like me and were passionate for our people, pioneering the way, such as Dr. Crabb. He has inspired myself and many others. This is my first time testifying in person at OHA. I feel I represent the typical modern Native Hawaiian woman. I have a demanding work schedule, put in lots of hours each week. I manage my household. I'm there for my family and my friends. I do things that keep me connected to my culture. I volunteer a lot because I believe in giving selflessly for the benefit of others. I follow issues through my network of friends and colleagues and try to be involved as best possible. Needless to say, it was very hard to get here, and I'm sure there was many other people like me that would like to come here and speak with you folks so they can hear our voices, but just cannot because the struggle is real. So again, to be here physically was very difficult but extremely important, because what you, Trustee Akana, and other supporting trustees have done with your vote to buy out Dr. Crabb's contract, to essentially get rid of him, will undoubtedly be catastrophic and detrimental to our people and Hawaii for generations to come. In the short time that Dr. Crabb has been kapohana, he and his staff have done more and have been at the forefront of real issues for our people than you have in your decades here. And yet he has to continuously justify his position. Outrageous. The public reputation of OHA has improved drastically. The difference he has made comes down to his leadership qualities and pono practices. His core is worthy and intentions are selfless. So I want to share an example of this, because really all we really have is our integrity. After all of this, all any one person has, any ohana has, is your own integrity. I'm an active member of the Joyful Heart Foundation here in Hawaii as its co-chair with Dr. Kale Kanuha for its Hawaii Advisory Board. Joyful Heart Foundation is a national organization that began in Hawaii 12 years ago through the philanthropic work of actress Mariska Hargitay of Law & Order SVU. Inspired by her deep connection and love for Hawaii, where she first experienced her own healing, the Joyful Heart Foundation's mission is to end domestic violence and sexual assault for good. Joyful Heart Foundation recognized several years back that despite the significant progress made in this work, still problems continue to affect millions. Here in Hawaii, 1 in 7 women are sexually assaulted. Over 500 domestic violence survivors seek support from programs in Hawaii every single day. 1 in 3 teens experience sexual or physical abuse or threats from a boyfriend or girlfriend each year. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 5 men have experienced some form of sexual victimization in their lives. So these are not just the statistics, these are us. We're overrepresented. Native Hawaiians are overrepresented, as usual. So Joyful Hearts Foundation initiated a local version of the National No More movement, a public awareness and engagement media campaign utilizing real local people as its faces, focused on ending domestic violence and sexual assault. Hawaii says no more challenges mindsets and behaviors that lead to this type of violence in Hawaii. It's an invitation to everyone in Hawaii to come together and say no more. So a year ago, we put together an exhaustive list of local role models, heroes, heroines, that would be the faces to represent us, Native Hawaiians, to counter the stigma associated with violence. Sadly, we could not find many Hawaiian males that fit the criteria of not having a violent history, that stood for integrity, that was respectable, noble, upright, and active with aloha, that was cool under pressure, that was recognizable, but most importantly, had a track record of doing good for all of Hawaii. And we had professionals doing that search for us.
Ms. Miller, could your time is
I'm
up.
almost done, yeah.
Can you wrap it
Okay,
up?
almost done. Thank you. Kamana'o made the cut, and it's only 2 of Hawaiian males represented in this campaign. We would have wanted more Native Hawaiians, but no more. When I approached him and asked him if he would volunteer for this effort, he honestly had no idea what he was getting into. And because of that, since its debut on November 16th, over 2 million viewers, audiences, this PSA has reached. It's on every single bus, 530, the whole entire fleet of the city bus the print ad is on. So this is just an example of the impact this campaign can systemically make for our people to end domestic violence for all, and it just shows the integrity and the aloha that Dr. Crabb has provided to this organization for free, volunteer. So in closing, as a registered voter and beneficiary, I'm really disappointed at what has been happening here in the last month or so, and I support Dr. Crabb in his work as kapohana until the work is done. And I did sign the petition asking for the removal of Chair Akana as chair so we can get on with our work. And just really quick, I don't even think Kamana'o has seen this, but these are the print ads. You put your own tagline on here. It says no more. And to change the mindset and the stigma, you try and shift. So it says no more, it's my kuleana. It's everybody's kuleana, all of this, even here today.
Thank you so much. Next speaker is Darren Salah. Darren Salah. Followed by Pohai Ryan. And speakers, please be cognizant of the time. We have a long agenda and there are many people to speak.
Chair Rowena
Hi, Aaron.
Kana,
How are
good
you?
morning. Trustees of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, I wish you all a very good morning. My name is Aaron Salah. My maternal grandmother is the unification of the Ka'awaloa clan of Puna and the Victor family of Kona. My father is a pure Samoan paramount chief from the village of Awa, American Samoa. And I thank you for allowing us the opportunity to offer testimony. I sat on the board of directors of the Hawaii Tourism Authority between 2011 and 2015, and I was honored to serve as chair of the board for the final year of my tenure there. For the most part, my time at HTA was incredible. I worked with a staff that was visionary and sat on a board that was collegial when not agreeable. We all shared a deep respect for each other and for the diverse knowledge and talents we each brought to the table. As my responsibility on the board of directors of the Hawaii Tourism Authority was to serve as a voice and as a conduit and liaison for the Native Hawaiian and local Hawaii community, never once was I made to feel inadequate and unworthy of sitting at that table. In fact, on many occasions, my opinion as a Hawaiian was sought and valued. As a result, I served as both student and teacher in an environment that was nurturing and supportive. On 5 May 2014, Dr. Kamana'o Pono Crabb, as Kapohan of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, authored a letter to the State Department of the United States of America, asking the State Department to clarify the quality of its policy as it pertains to America's political relationship to Hawaii, with inquiries contextualized by the outlining of Act 195 as signed into law by then-Governor Neil Abercrombie, which recognized, quote, Native Hawaiians as the only indigenous, aboriginal, Maoli population of Hawaii, end quote, and which committed the state of Hawaii, presumably through the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, quote, to support the continuing development of a reorganized Native Hawaiian governing entity and ultimately the federal recognition of Native Hawaiians, end quote. The letter was, in my opinion, the right letter sent at the right time. Notwithstanding our Lahui's diverse views on the many and varied paths towards self-determination, the conversation concerning self-determination of any kind must be predicated on a foundation where we know where we stand right now. And at least where the United States is concerned, from its own perspective, the letter sent by Kapo'uhana was meant to clarify that exact question. In my opinion, this singular act set Kamana'opono apart from other leaders in our community. And he was unfortunately in that moment set up to fail by the trustees of this office when you sent a memo to the same State Department rescinding his inquiry. That memo, signed by several of you, contrary to the tenor of that of Kapo'uhana, was reactionary and, in my opinion, my own humble opinion, short-sighted. It sent the message that still after all of these years, Hawaiians are still not in control of our own faculties and therefore cannot be agents in defining for ourselves our own destiny. While it may have occurred that Kapo'uhana had acted without counsel of the trustees, it seemed again, in my opinion, that trustee reaction to that situation set us back much further. Your rescission of Kapo'uhana's letter before receiving response clearly articulated your anticipatory fear of what that letter's response would or could have been. Why are you afraid? Hawaii is an amazingly valuable asset to the United States. Why would you not stand in solidarity of and with that value? I do not offer this testimony to defend Kamana'opono's work for you as Kapo'uhana of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. If his work as a leader in this organization and as a leader of this community does not speak for itself to you, then as you are responsible for his contracting and his evaluation, it is also your prerogative to terminate his employment as you deem fit. After all, he works at the pleasure of this board. I learned in my time as a director of the Hawaii Tourism Authority that CEOs and executive managers come and go. Indeed, a CEO is only as powerful as his level of support from the board, and it is clear that he no longer consistently garners the support of a majority of this board. However, this CEO can only be effective if said CEO understands and supports the vision of this board. It is so clear to so many of us that you lack vision, and that lack of vision is an effectual cause of your incessant and elementary infighting. The beneficiaries whom you claim to represent have already, both as individuals and as a collective, far surpassed you in overall vision, in cultural practice, in academic knowledge acquisition, and in strategic implementation. What have you done as a board of trustees of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and as individuals that would make Hawaiians proud? What is the legacy that you are leaving to us? How will we remember you? In her speech at the investiture last December, Chair Akana stated that, quote, somewhere along the way, I think OHA lost its focus on the real purposes of what a trust is, end quote. I think many of us agree. As I sat at the piano in the sanctuary that morning listening to her words, it was the phrase somewhere along the way that caught my ear. That thought, coupled with her longevity on this board, as she has served since 1990, caused me to wonder to myself if at some point in the last quarter century, Chair Akana has ever thought to consider her own role in that loss of focus. What are any of your roles in that loss of focus? What are any of our roles in that loss of focus? I acknowledge to you that as the evaluation and tenure of the position of Kapo'uhana, Dr. Kamana'opono Crab is your responsibility, and that you therefore have the power to terminate his employment. It is my responsibility as a beneficiary and the responsibility of all of us who are beneficiaries to evaluate your tenure as members of the Board of Trustees of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Because while Kapo'uhana works for you, you all work for us. Your desire for power and to appear powerful has overshadowed your capacity to serve. For the rest of you, in preparation for the next election, we will begin the process of evaluating your work and your value to our vision for our future, and we will be terminating employment as necessary at that time. As beneficiaries of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, we will no longer be complacent, nor will we be complicit any longer in the affairs of this office. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next speaker is Pohai Ryan.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Madam Chair, who is next? Who is next?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Ryan.
Oh, hello.
Good morning.
Morning. I'm here in the capacity of myself, representing no one else but myself. The Hawaiian way to say where you're from, who you come from. I am the granddaughter of Nakaliave Kamakana of Kalamaula, Molokai. My mother was Liko Lehua, or better known as Auntie Liko, Kamakana Grandbush. My Caucasian roots go as far back as the Battle of Bunker Hill. So I am what they call Hapa, and proud of it. Those of you who knew my mother are familiar with the history in helping to start OHA. Robbie Cabral in the audience is well aware of the recruitment for petition to support the founding of OHA. My family are known activists. We run the whole gamut politically. It's in our genes, I think. Or people say it's in the warrior gene of Molokai people. PKO met in our yard during the days of Kaho'olawe, as Colette knows. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong, who's good or bad. And not everything that trustee chair Akana says is wrong. I am here to state my concern about the choice of delivery in the communication and representation of discussions on the board. We all understand that you have all been in the community, personally worked in the community, and done significant things for our people. I know most of you personally and respect and know that you are intelligent. But in the community, that is not always what is reflected. As someone who served in the legislature, I sat in meetings, and this was years back, and I cannot imagine what it could be today. What the discussions are of our premier organization representing our people, our Lahui. The discussion should not be personal. It should not be, and this is for everyone on this board. This is about our people. Even Kamana'o knows I've shared personally on text with him, scolding sometimes of choices I thought was wrong. Not everybody's going to make the right choice. But personal attacks in the public is a'ole and can be very costly and, quite frankly, bad for our organization, OHA. But in my professional capacity, I serve as an executive director of an organization representing Hawaiian values. But every activity, everything that is publicized, negative behavior, failure to appear and stand with your decisions on your votes when people expect you to as a trustee, it reflects on everything in our community, every leader, every organization. That is why I am here. The impact of what is happening is deteriorating the credibility of not only OHA, but everyone who serves to work for the betterment of our Hawaiian people. That is not good. I know you folks can come together, ho'oponopono. Please, I am begging you. No more public. It's not only embarrassing, it's wrong. I know you folks are bigger than that, all of you. And I understand some of the complaints. But to personally attack Kamana'o in public as an employee is also very risky and not fair. You as the employers or people that oversee his position should be concerned about what is said publicly at this table. And it's not right. It's not Hawaiian. We've all made bad choices, some intentional, some not. Please keep these things in perspective. I also don't appreciate attempts for censorship of beneficiaries in the public, not being able to say what they think is right or wrong. Of course, we're not going to all agree. But any action to censor, intimidate, threaten, whether it's Hawaiian civic clubs or associations of Hawaiian homesteaders or just a grassroots community, that is not good. Because everyone at this table was elected to represent the Hawaiian people, the betterment of the Hawaiian people. It's disturbing when you see an editorial written in midweek saying that we should dissolve OHA. That should disturb everybody. Because that can happen. Why? Because we're the minority. We are the minority. We're not entitled. I know this personally. Statements made, Hawaiians should get nothing else. Power already. The public's tolerance for us and our infighting is wearing very thin. And some of us think no matter, it matters. It does matter. And not only that, all the professional, competent, educated young professionals in OHA, they are being affected, stigmatized by poor behavior of leadership or non-leadership. If anything else, please consider the morale of the staff, the organization. To walk in the Capitol and people snickering as they go by. And I know very well those people are very competent lawyers. We should be very upset about this. So whatever happens, please come together somehow. I don't know what that will be, how that looks like. But also, have the courage to take the stand and defend your decisions. Right or wrong, popular or not. Be leaders, please. That's all I have to say.
Oh, hi. I do want you to clear something up. In a lot of this bad press, there were things that were put into this petition against me. One of those things said I caused a brawl at our native conference. I want you to clear it up since you were there with me.
First, I need to state that I actually took vacation hours to be here, but since the request has been made by Chair, I now sit on the board of directors for the American Indian Alaska Native Tourism Association. Last year in Colorado, there was an incident in the bar. I did contact the writer of the blog and explain to him, though there was a situation that started the whole series of events, there was no brawl. There was no security removal. Disappointingly, I felt that the employees should have been fired. I'm not sure if they were. I thought they were being very disrespectful. But in fairness to Trustee Akana, that is not quite the way it happened. Again, it's not just Hawaii watching this. A lot of people are watching this. I hope that again, you folks can come together, please, for the sake of all of us.
But I had nothing to do with the brawl. I just sat there like you.
You were unengaging. You were unengaging.
I had nothing.
It was very silly. It was very silly, but in the end, we all represent more than who we are when we travel as well.
It came out of this office.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
So I just wanted
I'm
to
sorry.
clear it up. Thank you.
I did make them aware of the comment, though.
Thank you. Next speaker is Kylie Kamai, and we're not taking any more speakers because we still have at least 8 more people, and we do have an agenda.
All due respect, I was here even before Pohai Ryan, and there may have been other speakers for her also. I do not know how you choose whose testimony she will hear.
Mr. Kamai.
Aloha wa ke aka ko o wau ke ili kamai no au ia wawo ai nai. Mahalo ke akua, mahalo e nā kupuna. Mahalo i ke ia halavai. Akana, o hana, o mena trustees. I'm going to make this real fast. Folks should be familiar with this because it comes out of your office. Real. Your vision.
Text saying that the people watching cannot hear anything because they're not speaking into the mic.
Okay.
Into the
Your vision. Ho'olula hui aloha. To raise a beloved nation. You know, I've always wondered, what is your folks' vision of a nation under America or our own kingdom? So, you know, sometime in the future, if you folks can clarify that for me. Your mission statement, to malama of Hawaii's people and environmental resources and OHA's assets. And to be recognized nationally and internationally. I don't see any of that really happening. Go through your folks'
the budget. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot folks are doing for some people. It's been 33 million trying to make us a tribe. Yet when we come to you folks and request kokua for independence, holy, no more money, fill this form out. And finally, the overview. Office of Hawaiian Affairs is a public agency with a high degree of autonomy. OHA is responsible for improving the well-being of Native Hawaiians. Instead of you folks helping to heal me, you folks are making me more sick. I just hope, Chair, and Kapo'ahana can work together, iron that pilikia out. And then, you know, all you guys are educated. I'm just a high school graduate. All you guys are highly educated, intelligent. You guys should make this office work for all of our benefits instead of a select few. Mahalo. You know?
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Kehau Lum.
Aloha mai kako, Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Apo, Trustee Waihe'e, Trustee Ahu'isa, Chair Akana, Trustee Lindsay, Trustee Akina, Trustee Machado, Trustee Ahuna, Kapohana. Aloha mai na ohana, here and at home. I am a student of Uncle Bruce Keaulani, so I won't take much of your time. I will echo his comments and encourage all of you to please consider coming to Manoa. 20 years ago, I stood here. I was hapai working for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And a gentleman came forth to you at that time. His name was Papa Henry Awai. And he invited the board to come to his home in Waikoloa. And you were able to move forward. I don't know whether or not you did that. But we're trying to teach a whole generation of children to utilize this traditional practice that only we hold. That millions of people outside of Hawaii, they try to copy that. And we don't even use it here. It's so vital. It's the most precious legacy that we have because it is built on aloha. I love you. Chair, you and I have had a long-standing relationship. Thank you for allowing me to speak. And I ask forgiveness of you if anything I have ever done in the past has offended you.
Likewise.
And I forgive you.
I forgive you. Mahalo. Thank you.
I want to say that I love this organization deeply. My grandmother, who you all honored 5 years ago, Harriet O'Sullivan, after she passed, loved this organization deeply, just as every single person who has stood before you. Not everybody loves this organization. You've heard some of them today. They're calling for the FBI. That's serious, because the outcome of a Federal Bureau of Investigation could lead not simply to this seat, but to all of yours. And most likely that's where it will end, because you have the fiduciary duty if there is something wrong. So please be very careful in accepting that call. Be very, very careful. I would like to offer, I'm not sure that we have enough copies, but I'm grateful to Uncle Bruce for teaching me the practice of Antimorna. I was raised in a church, Hawaiian Pentecostal, that had our own Ho'oponopono practice as well. And we brought some copies of Antimorna's first teaching of Ho'oponopono. You can go on Google or to Barnes & Noble and find fancy books today that share this simple wisdom that we all have. So I'd like to enter this into the record, please, so that if you're not able to come, at least you have the resources here
to share. I also would like to thank Kamana'o for all that you have done for us. You haven't always said yes to us. In fact, I think you said no more. But what you have done cannot be measured in dollars and cents. When you brought home the Aha'ula, it's priceless. And when the trustees voted for that, and I'm sure you voted for that, Trustee Akana, that was priceless. You cannot even put a dollar value on that legacy. So, good things have happened in this organization, and I know good things will continue, and I thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for what you do. I love the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Let us please move forward. Don't stop this momentum. Pohai is right. A Hawaiian staffer at the Capitol told me the other day, there is no Hawaiian mana at the Capitol. This is the mana. This is the mana. All of us together. So please, let's move forward together. Mahalo.
Thank you.
First of all, Kiao, I want to say thank you for saying exactly what you just said. I didn't want to take any more time, but I just felt it was important that you guys all know that, first of all, I believe that we all love each other here on this table, and I know that we're very passionate about each other. But to our people that we represent, I want you guys to all know that I believe we all can get better. We all can get better. We just have to find our part in it. A lot of you come here and seek answers, and still we don't have just simple answers. I just want people to know that I voted to extend this man's contract along with a 2/3 vote. And I also voted for the ICUN. And I know a lot of you wanted answers, but you know, a lot of the finger pointing is pointing at one man. And I just want you guys to know that I think as trustees, you all know that we represent this trust and we make those decisions. And I hear all of you here today saying, you know, it's important who we are, where we come from. And it's important that you know that I represent the islands of Kauai and Niihau. But most of all, I represent people. And I wanted to speak because I'm hearing a lot of issues and no answers. And I just want you to know that we have made a lot of decisions, board decisions on this board table. And it had nothing to do with Kamana'o. And I know that for a fact that his contract was extended for 3 years. And I'm not trying to take a side, but it always seems that in Hawaiian issues, it's Hawaiians against Hawaiians. And I just want to continue by saying that we are all here. We want to fix this situation, and it's important that we fix it. So I just want to congratulate all of you for coming in and sharing your testimonies. But for me, there isn't a side. We all want to get better.
Thank you, Dan.
I like what some of our beneficiaries said today about the nationalities that occupy us. And I just want you guys to know that there's many nationalities that occupy me, but the one I speak for is the Kanaka Maoli, and I want you guys to all know that.
Lemomi Khan, followed by Samantha Herrera, followed by Mahilani Silva.
Aloha.
Aloha mai kakou. Thank you, Chair, for allowing us to the opportunity for all of us to express our concerns. I am here representing the Kalihi Palama Hawaiian Civic Club and also the Democratic Party of Hawaii, the Hawaiian Affairs Caucus. Know that what I say is not Lemomikan's manao alone. It is a reflection of the members of those two organizations. So on January 12th, we came prepared to make some comments, and as all of you know, the meeting did not materialize to allow us to do that. So I wish to read the comments that were to be made at that time. And this is on behalf of the Kalihi Palama Hawaiian Civic Club. In the January issue of the Kawai'ola, we read with interest the columns written by all trustees and were encouraged by the goals articulated by some trustees for the betterment of our people. Especially, we were touched by the comments made by Trustee Hulu Lindsay, who stated, "It is important to me that as leaders of our lahui, we must set an example by being kind and compassionate to all whose lives we touch. There is so much turmoil in our world today. If we can lighten the burdens of our people in any small way, that should be our goal. We must respect the voices of those we represent and care for others and all that surrounds us. In these times, nothing could be truer. We see unrest all around us. It takes strong leaders to set the example of actions to uplift us. Recent actions of the Board of Trustees have not lightened our burden as beneficiaries. We see political maneuvering for power that is distracting from the goals that many of you wish to achieve as our trustees. We see the use of Western ways in resolving differences between the CEO and the Board of Trustees, rather than our own Hawaiian cultural practice of ho'oponopono. We see a staff whose morale is damaged and who are uncertain about their job security because of the turmoil between the CEO and the Board of Trustees. We see unkind accusations about the chair and about the CPO being leaked to the news media. We see proposals of buyout of the CEO contract that was just renewed a few months ago that could cost thousands of dollars better used for beneficiary programs. We see the news media loving what some have described as K-drama of the behavior of trustees. We hear comments from the public describing OHA as dysfunctional. We hear legislators talking about introducing bills that could change the way OHA trustees are elected, possibly taking away the voices of our people. And just last night, my husband brings me the midweek to read. And in it is an article written by Bob Jones. And he suggests that maybe we should write the Office of Hawaiian Affairs out of the state constitution, that the next Kankan should consider a mercy killing of OHA. The fallout of your recent actions is having disastrous effect, leaving our people unrestful. The statements I have made are a reflection of comments made by members at a recent Kalihi Palama Hawaiian Civic Club meeting, the end result being a motion adopted that strongly opposes buying out Kamana'opono's contract as an action not in the best interest of the beneficiaries, especially at this time when we are advocating at the legislature for appropriations and bills to improve the conditions of Native Hawaiians. Dr. Crabb is a respected Hawaiian leader with excellent educational and experience credentials. Especially we respect the fact that he has tried to bridge the gap between those in favor of federal recognition and those who favor independence by providing opportunities for joint discussions and funding for education. We think it will be very difficult to find a replacement who brings this kind of balance, who is Hawaiian and who practices Hawaiian cultural values. For all of these reasons, we urge the Board of Trustees to consider the use of ho'oponopono to resolve any differences, to set the direction for OHA, to keep the CEO in place to allow stabilization, to give priority to addressing the needs of our Native Hawaiian community, and to implement programs and solutions that further the well-being of our people. And so those are the comments on behalf of Kalihi Palama Hawaiian Civic Club. On behalf of the Hawaiian Affairs Caucus of the Democratic Party, many of those same reasons surfaced during our meeting on whether to provide comments on this issue or not. In the end, all said and done, the motion was made that we should come and voice support for the continuance of Dr. Crabb's contract as being in the best interest of beneficiaries and the work to move forward. I would also like to say none of these organizations, including myself, have had any discussions about Chair Akana. That is left to the trustees to decide on what, if anything, to do. She acts as the chair. We respect that position. Never, I find, having been a leader of several organizations, never can we make decisions that everybody will like. That's probably the curse of a leader. You cannot please everyone. But we hope for sound leadership that brings us together and helps us to holomua forward. And so we ask for you to do that, to find a way to resolve the differences, and together move forward for us. Mahalo. Thank you again, Chair.
Mahalo.
Okay, thank you, trustees, for sitting through this. We have one trustee who's going to take a bathroom break, so other trustees would like to take a quick bathroom break. You may do so. Can we take I'm sorry, Samantha. We're going to take a 3-minute recess so some of the members can go to the bathroom, and we'll be right back.
or choose the alternative path, the Pono path. It is a path in which OHA demonstrates leadership that unites rather than divides. Leadership that focuses on the lahui rather than personal gains. Leadership that listens more than speaks. Leadership that empowers rather than enrages our people. We need OHA to demonstrate the leadership necessary to fulfill its mission of managing our assets to improve the health and well-being of our lahui. We need all of you to put to rest any reservations others may have of our ability to self-govern. We need you to demonstrate Pono leadership. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you so much. Okay, Mahilani Silva, followed by Laura Powell.
Aloha. For the records, Mahilani Silva. Mahalo, chairperson. Mahalo trustees.
Aloha.
For allowing me to come to speak today. I am not a beneficiary, although I am qualified to apply. However, in due conscience, even though my family begs me to apply, I cannot in good conscience, because the blood quantum to me is considered to be a paper genocide. It divides our people to have and have-nots. And although my daughter is asking me, please, because she feels that she will not be able to stay here unless that happens. But I can't. Because to me, if you get one drop of cocoa, you kanaka, and you're entitled. So I request whatever happens with this board, that you please look into that. Second of all, I've watched and I've stood by Ohana as we stand in courts regarding our land, adverse possession, quiet titling, and unfortunately many of us don't have the 5,000 or how many thousand it is to take to pay Native Hawaiian Legal Corporation to support us in our fight. And so multinational corporations, private developers, and ranches, private ranches, end up taking our land. And the sad part about it is it affects us, those who still hold on to the Hawaiian values, our traditions, our culture. And those of us who do genealogy, and every time we do genealogy, we touch upon our kapuna. And most of us who did genealogy, the way we found it was through the Ku'e petition. And we were able to connect to our heritage, connect to our nation, connect to those kupuna who died never seeing the light of freedom. And so when Kamana'o Crab, mahalo to you, sent a letter to the Secretary of State, many of us went, yes, finally, somebody has asked that question. Does the kingdom still exist? And then it was squashed like a bug, that ember of hope. I was like, oh, when you guys went, no, we looked to rescind. I support many of the people who testified. I support Helani Sonata, Poli's testimony. I support Brother Wahilani's testimony. Please. And Auntie over here who basically said, Ho'oponopono, please, engage in Ho'oponopono. Because the political flavor that we are facing in terms of the United States is not going to fare well for you or our lahui, our people, our aina. It's only going to get worse in regards to the executive orders, in regards to the pa'akawaha, to the Environmental Protection Agency, in regards to several of the federal agencies that have their hands on our aina, that have control on our aina and our oceans. So please, please, on behalf of all of us here, please, ho'oponopono, come together. And I look at it this way, to have Kamana'o here and to have all of you here. And I wouldn't like to see any of you. I mean, come on. Most of us over here in Hawaii, all of us here, we don't need Facebook. We don't need telephones. We got as a coconut wireless. Practically everybody here is related to each other, whether it be marriage or blood. And so if you sneeze on Oahu, they're going to say, bless you on several islands. So we all know what's happening. We all know, oh, that one made a mistake. Oh, did you see Uncle Ore? He was standing over there with the developers testifying on behalf of the developers. Oh, no, I never see that one. But we all pray. We all pray for you to make the right decisions. We may not like our leaders. We might not like some of you individually. We may love some of you. But the fact of it is, whether we like you or not, we pray for you. We pray for you to make the right decisions. So our children and our children's children will not have to be forced to move from our aina. Most of my ohana lives on the mainland, and they want to come home, but they can't. And because what happens is, even those who are able to cling on to that aina, guess what happens? Somebody bought the land, whether it be through, taxes, mortgage, or whatnot, bought the land, built a multi-million-dollar home on it, and what happens? Your little hale, your taxes go up. And then they're forced to sell. So please, please do something. Come together. We pray that you do. We pray that you come to a pono decision. We pray that you do ho'oponopono. Please, for all of our sakes. Mahalo.
Mrs. Silva, I just wanted to let you know that you don't have to apply to be a beneficiary. You are automatically a beneficiary of OHA.
Next speaker is Laura Powell.
Aloha. Olara Puakina Kapal Ko'inoa, and thank you, Chair. Thank you, trustees, for the opportunity to speak to you all today. I represent myself today and no one else. And this is the second time I've been in this room. And it is the first time I'm giving public testimony of any type. It's not usually what I do. But given what's happened in OHA recently, I was compelled to come today. So I'm here on vacation to let you all know that I support Kamana'o Pono and his continuation in his position. I have worked in state government for some 19 years now, and I have seen what change in leadership does to the organization and how long it takes to rebound and gain the momentum lost. And I beg of you not to do that to us, and not now. Not with the leader that you have in front of you. I have known Kamana'o for some, 30 years, I think. We are not good friends. He is not my buddy. I don't hang out with him. But I've watched him before he was in graduate school. And I've watched him go through graduate school. And I've watched him become the man he is sitting in front of you today. And I am proud of his accomplishments. And I think he shows a wonderful role model to our youth. I think he is trying to set a path that potentially maybe not going to benefit me, but going to benefit my babies and their babies. And that's why I'm here. I don't care if I don't benefit. I'm willing to put in the hard work today so that generations to come will benefit. And there will still be a Hawaii for them. And there will still be culture for them. My mom was not raised in her culture because she couldn't be taught her culture. I want different for my family. I want different for my child. And this man has the language, he has the cultural practices, he has the integrity. I have never, in the 30 years I have known him, heard him say a bad word about anyone, about anybody at this table. And again, I'm not with him 24/7, so I don't know what he does on his own, but I have never heard it. So I beg of you to please consider the impact of removing him from this office on the organization itself, the amount of time it will take to rebound. And I'm not just making this up. Look at organizational psychology and look at the literature. It takes a while for things to rebound, for directions to be reset. We don't have that kind of time. Given the political climate right now in the United States, we need to stand together and stand strong. So please, find it in your heart. You have all done wonderful things throughout your career, and I thank you for that. You have made a place for us at this table. Thank you. You were all intelligent and compassionate people. Find a way to resolve your differences so that all of us can move together forward and away from this pilikia. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the last speaker is Kaui Pratt Aquino.
Thank you, Chair. Aloha.
Aloha.
This is kind of uncomfortable. The tone here is very different than what it's been in the last times that I've been here. And I mahalo everyone who came up here to speak their mind. But today I have a heavy burden to carry right now, because not only am I talking to this, with me, I bring 752 voices to this table, asking this board to act. I am a beneficiary of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I'm a mother, I'm a small business owner, and I'm an active community member. And to address Mary Alice's comments, I've never had a relationship with Kamana'o until I saw this board attack him. I rose up, and if you know, I know I'm not a regular participant here. But sitting at home, watching that, I could not sit back and do nothing, because he has been a positive role model in our community. But what I have seen, Chair Kana, and this is not to hurt your feelings, but I'm now responsible to bring the 752 voices to the table, which you got a copy of. Every trustee on this table should have got a copy of everyone's testimony about your leadership. Again, I represent the Pono Leadership Group. The Pono Leadership Group is comprised of 752 citizens who are asking this board to take action. 90% of those who signed the petition are Native Hawaiian beneficiaries of this agency, the silent majority, but they have decided to take a step forward to ask this board for help. Because I created that petition, I am now responsible to make sure those voices are heard. For the record, I would like to include all 752 people to be included in the record formally and their testimony. Chair Akana, you told me yesterday, or the day before yesterday, sorry, that I needed to come back and speak to you when I had 100,000 people behind me. I'm here to tell this board and you that the people who signed that petition matter. Their voices matter. You will not silence us. We will have a fair opportunity to be heard as my fellow Kanaka in this room. Our primary objective of this initiative is to restore order on this board through two actions. Since new leadership has been installed, This board has been ineffective and at the center of so many controversies in the last month. We are here to remind you who you serve. We are here to tell you that whatever pilikia is going on this board is not a reflection of our community or our values. It is unfair to the good people of our communities to have to see this craziness. Again, to be clear, I represent the 752 people who signed the petition, no one else. And our call to action is we're asking this board to install Pono leadership. We offer two actions as the only foreseeable solution to help get this board on track. We do not see reconciliation in this effort between Akana as chair and Kamana'o as CEO. We are here to support Kamana'o in his role as CEO. So here are our two, what we're offering on the table. For the chair to step down, or if she chooses not to, we're asking the board to remove her. Secondly, we're asking this board to stop all adverse actions against the CEO, Kamana'o Crab. And I'm going to give you explanation, and this is not to personally attack you, but to give you what we are seeing, give you our perspective of what we are seeing in the community. The current chair lacks the capacity to be an effective leader. And it is not my intent to hurt you, but to share our mana'o.
Your time is up. Can you wrap it up?
I can't, I will. And I'm not going to move until I give my entire statement, because I am representing 752 people. I have to be straightforward with you because I'm not sure if anyone has told you this, but you have presented yourself to us as someone who is mean-spirited, a bully, and controlling. Not only have we seen you for years now, on many occasions, including public televised meetings, demean and attack the CEO, staff, and beneficiaries, but also you continually minimize this effort to speak out against you. We're here to tell you no more. We've had enough. My desire to start the petition was not based on an isolated situation. Like the beneficiaries who have signed the petition, who you guys have received their comments, we have watched Akana interact with the board, staff, and beneficiaries. It has not been a positive experience. I'm here to tell you our group is rejecting your leadership. We are not beneath you. Our people deserve better. A leader who practices respect for others and our concerns. You're not a person we wish to see responsible for our precious resources. I hate to tell you this, but no one coerced any of us to sign this petition to speak out against you. This is what you have presented to the public. If you read the petition and comments submitted, the people who spoke out against you actually work with you or knew you personally. There is no great plot for political gain or funding. Our desire here is to have a stronger, a more transparent OHA. I have nothing, absolutely nothing to gain from my participation in this effort. What appears to be happening is that your recent attack on the CEO is based on a personal vendetta against him, not one based on his job performance. You have spread mass information into our community to confuse individuals by making allegations that he has misspent millions and millions of dollars on his own. That is not true. My understanding of this agency's policy is that the CEO has a discretionary budget. And if any board member wants to correct me, please do so. Anything over that discretionary budget must have board approval in order for him to proceed. So I appreciate Trustee Ahuna coming forth and taking responsibility for some of your kuleana. But I have yet to see any board member come forward to take responsibility for their part in this. Their authority that's been delegated to the board, or any ownership. Instead,
Wait, can you wrap up? Because some of us got to go to another meeting and we have an executive session.
I'm not done yet. I'm sorry, Leah.
Please, just wrap up.
We are asking for action because our Lohui needs to be fighting on so many different fronts. Fronts in education, at the legislature, at the county, helping to put water back in our streams. Instead, we're here talking about infighting and an attack on a good man. So here is my feedback. It appears the current chair is unfairly targeting Dr. Crabb based on a personal dislike for him. He has been an amazing leader and role model for many across Hawaii. He is with us in the community. He has not lost sight of the people he serves. He has done an excellent job in growing OHA and its impact in the community. I know this firsthand because I've had the opportunity to work alongside the brilliant staff of this agency, fighting for our rights to water and land. The competency of staff I attribute to strong leadership at this agency. And despite the conflicts of the board, he has done an excellent job in insulating those staff because they've been high-performing in the community and has carried himself with integrity and grace with his unwavering commitment to our people and much personal sacrifices. Leaders like Kamana'o need to be rewarded for their work, not publicly shamed and penalized. Finally, his contract is a binding agreement. Trustee Colette Machado reaffirmed that point at the January 3rd board meeting. Any grievances the board might have had. Okay. Any grievances the board might have had should have been included in his review or renewal contract. Therefore, we reject any attempt to terminate or buy out his contract early. This is an outright waste of trust resources and a breach to this board's fiduciary duty to beneficiaries. Now, if this board chooses to elect a new leader, this is what we expect, and this will be I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points too. The chair must respect and listen to beneficiaries. The chair must be committed to applying Native Hawaiian values and tradition to his leadership role, recognizing the deep hurt the community faces, looking to our kupuna for guidance to affirm his or her commitment. We also support the chair implementing an agency-wide ho'oponopono effort to clean out any pilikia within the agency itself. We also support the chair being committed to increased agency transparency. Transparency is critical to building trust in our community and repairing any past injuries the community has received from OHA's operations. We also expect the chair to be committed to the spirit of collaboration for the greater good of our community. We expect the chair to be committed to finding common ground, and building bridges on the board itself, the staff, and the broader community. We can't iterate. I'm going to be very clear. If the board chooses to elect a new chair, the next chair must not have any personal conflicts that would prevent he or she from working with the CEO. It is a waste of valuable beneficiary time and resources to have leadership engage in petty personal conflicts against the CEO or any other staff or beneficiaries, attacks that are not based on professional reason.
Excuse me, Cody, this is the February 2nd meeting, so can you wrap up now? We got to do our executive session, please. We
So,
have another meeting for what you're talking about.
mahalo.
Come on now, can you... Please.
We are going to be watching this issue.
Mahalo.
Okay.
Because,
Mahalo.
it's been 2.5 hours. So. Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll take a motion to move into executive session. Do you have a second?
Second, Johnson.
All right.
Can we clear the room? We're going to move into executive session.
Hawaii.